right, y'all, what's going on? Tamar Turner here with another episode of the Down to Business podcast. And today we sat down with Melanae with the Madness, musical artist out of Dunn, North Carolina. And when I tell y'all she came with that energy, she definitely came with the energy. We were able to talk about just how early she remembers really truly developing an interest and a passion for wanting to be a musical artist, for wanting to get into that space. We were also able to talk about a recent move that she made to a new location and how that is affecting and impacting her career. And then we talked about the future. We talked about obviously what she's doing now with the music and what she's already put out and debut, but we talked about, what's to come and what you should look forward to. So if you haven't already tapped in with her, you definitely will want to after you listen to this interview. So without further ado, enjoy episode 72, A World of Opportunity. What's going on, everybody? So I'd just like to welcome you back to another episode of the Down to Business podcast here with Tamar Turner. And always a good link up, when I can get mutuals. Big shout out to my man K-Dot for this one and just every venture that he has going on. And for those of y'all who may not remember K-Dot or Kendrick, definitely check out episode 16, Put the People First. That's where we did our first visual, shot it down in Miami, and really had a good time. And since then, obviously, K-Dot is like a mentor to me, somebody who, besides just being a fraternity brother, he's somebody who I definitely do, tap in with a lot. We really just talk about everything that we have going on. We even have some upcoming projects that I'm excited to kind of debut and things like that. But aside from that, he always puts me in contact with good people. I've been able to bring on a couple of folks that he's already put me in contact with. I've been able to bring on him, obviously, and no short of this young lady who I'm sitting down with today. So very excited to be sitting down with Melanae. I'm very excited for her to really give y'all what she's got because I've been tapping into the content. I've really been impressed by it since I was able to follow her, everything that she has going on, and I know that she's really just building. As you can see, she's working in the background, got a lot going on herself. So, Melanae, how you doing?
I'm fine. How you doing?
I'm good. So,
Good.
for everybody kind of tapping in from their perspective side, and maybe even for the first time, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll bring you on the podcast today?
Okay. Well, I'm Melanae with the Madness. I am from Dunn, North Carolina. It's 30 minutes between Raleigh and Fayetteville. Um, a bachelor's of criminal justice degree with from Elizabeth City State University, and I'm here in Baltimore now. It's my new home, so
So, how long you been out Baltimore? How they treat you out there?
I've been out here for about a month now.
Okay. So what prompted that? Like, what prompted that move? Was it like a music opportunity? Was it just a career thing? Was it just you wanted to get away?
Music opportunity as well as career thing. All three basically. I want to get away. Dunn is not the place for me, so I just
Okay.
got about it.
Got that. Sure. So, since moving, since kind of being set up in your location, getting everything like you said, you're about a month in. What has that transition really been like for you? Have there been any obstacles immediately that you've had to overcome? Just any trials and tribulations that you kind of have to like fight through?
I mean, yeah, everybody has those, but it's about your mindset and about making the right decisions. So, I mean, the only really problem that I had coming up here was traffic. That's about it. So, other than that, everything is nice. Everybody's nice, but that traffic,
It's different. Yeah, the DMV area, that's a city for sure. So
yeah.
you see the DC, the Maryland, Virginia, all of that.
hmm
So, okay. So music. Let's really talk about let's get down to the beginning. Where did you start? How did you start Melanae with the Madness? Where did that name come from? Just give me a little bit of everything.
Okay, so I mean, singing, I've been singing since I was 4 years old. Rapping, I did it in high school sometimes during class. They would call me the class clown because I'd be rapping in high school with my friends. It was like, you should do it for real. I was like, no, I'm not doing it for real. So I went to college. Once I went to college, I started taking it more seriously. So towards the end of school, once I graduated, I took it full hand, went for a year doing music full time, and now I'm here. Melanae came from the name melanin in my government name, which is Anjanae. So Melanae.
Putting together
That's what
with the
we got.
Madness.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. I like that. So 4 years old. That's quite some time ago. That's a lot of
Mhm.
experience. That's a lot of just over time, different things. Different. Was there anything immediately that sparked that passion? Were you surrounded by people who were singing, and that's what kind of sparked you? Was it just something you tried for the
Yeah.
first time?
I mean, we from the South, so we in church 25/8. So that's what I did. Sunday school, Sunday service, vacation Bible school, anything dealing with church, I was in it. Um, that's really it. I sung in high school, gospel choir director in high school, as well as assistant gospel choir director with the university choir at Elizabeth City State. So that was exciting. So music has just been all around me my whole life.
Gotcha. So now, obviously, like you said, Dunn is really not the place to be. I've had my fair share of conversations with K. Dot, and just I've even been there myself, so I can kind of
Right,
see that community and just what it needs and what people are trying to do. Obviously, as
right.
recognizing that this is not what we want it to always be like. So, in making that transition from Dunn to Elizabeth City and still thinking about what you wanted to do as far as singing and even some of the rapping and things that you did, what was that like? Because I'm sure you got more exposure. You were able to meet more people, get connected, and it's
Yes.
something that you were directly studying. So, how was that?
More, yes, more exposure. Networking was on point. Once I got to college, I seen a lot of people that was in music or doing entertainment in general, and I linked up with them. We most of us did songs together. After school, we would go hit the studio down the street and make some songs. Come back, and when we had class 8 in the morning. So I mean, we all of us put that grind in. So it was really great. I was really grateful to be able to be around people who had the same dreams as me and the same passion, the same drive. So that's what's up.
Got you. So getting to Elizabeth City, let's kind of wind it back a little bit. So immediately kind of just thinking about what you have done up until this point, your passion for it, what you're kind of looking forward to. Did you have any immediate goals, any things that you had on your bucket list that you wanted to knock off? Was this starting this new venture for you? Did you just want a clean slate or were you really looking to tackle things one by one?
Yeah, well, I knew I wanted to do music for one, but it was like, parents always like, you got to have a backup plan. So I was like, okay, let me go to college, do what I got to do. So I went for criminal justice. At first, I wanted to do juvenile justice, working with probation officers, and things of that nature. But now I'm thinking homicide, CSI. I watch Law and Order, Criminal Minds all day, so CSI is where it's at with me.
Okay. Oh yeah, I'm a big Criminal Minds fan. I
Yep.
think I got addicted to my dad. We sit there and watch season after season, and you feel like you in it sometimes. Yeah,
Yes,
and
sir. First
I
48,
never
all of that.
You feel me? So yeah, so I like all of that. Okay, so
Yep.
now in thinking about what you do, so where you are right now, getting set up in your respective career in this respective new city, new location, and everything. What's on the radar for you? What's on the map? What are you thinking about immediately? What are you thinking about long term? What's next for Melanae?
Melanae, I mean, you see, I'm in the studio now, so I'm
Yeah, right.
working. I mean, Mama, my braids too tight. My first mixtape dropped. Matter of fact, October 31st would have made it a year ago since I dropped it. It's been doing pretty good ever since then. I've been dropping some other singles, 2 a.m., Nosy Neighbor, and I think it's one more that I have up there. But I've been dropping back to back. I got a couple of videos on YouTube as well, so y'all check me out on YouTube. All my links are in my Instagram. Instagram is Melana and 4 E's.
Right
So
now,
click
we
that link tree. That's
yeah.
you got everything. You be straight.
She said it's a one-stop shop. I love that for sure. And like I was telling y'all, even at the beginning of the interview, the content is impeccable. I wish I would have kind of connected with you sooner, came across your page, but kid, I do so much. So once he finally plugged me in, I seen you on the Border People Records page. I said, "Oh yeah, oh yeah, we definitely gonna get right with her." And he even kind of
Appreciate
came
you.
back to me and was like, "Yo, you check in where? Did you get right?" So I started scrolling through the DMs. I said, I got to get right. So let me not make no excuses. Let me really go.
Appreciate you.
Okay. Oh no, for sure. So in in Melanae, in the image and the brand, and you really putting yourself out there, what would you say is your biggest method of promotion? Do you like the word of mouth? Is it kind of just a social media thing? Are you really big with that and kind of promoting and managing yourself? How really is that? Does it come with, when you're interacting and performing with people? What would you say has been your greatest success so far?
So far I feel like social media is okay, but I feel like going out with people face to face and them seeing you one on one, I think that's more effective. So that's really what I've been doing. I've been hitting a couple of lounges and clubs out here. Matter of fact, I just went to one last night with Boosie and was talking to the DJ, so everywhere I go, I'm networking. I don't go there to play. I mean, I go there to have fun, but at the same time, I'm there to handle my business. This is what I came here for.
So what is it like now? I'm so glad that you brought that up, just because I feel like as artists, as people in the entertainment industry. My previous episode was even talking about it. I sat down with my guy Vic, and he's a rapper out of North Carolina, but he also
Hmm.
talked about how if it really wasn't for social media, he's a private individual. He's not somebody who's really going to put everything out there. He's not somebody that's going to give you everything you got. But at the same time, a lot of what y'all do kind of does dwell off that nightlife, does dwell off kind of being in that limelight sometimes, being the center of attention. So what is it
Right,
like, especially for you, really maintaining that balance? Obviously, you're going to have fun. You're going to live your life. You're going to do what you aim to do. But at the same time, look, you're handling business. You're not where you want to be. And at the
right.
same time, you still got to, continue to promote your image in the right light.
Right. I feel like it's all about being wise. My mama always told me about being wise, making the right decisions, and dedication. I mean, if this is what you want to do, you can't. Anybody else gonna do it for you. You know what I'm saying? So you got to put your best effort up in it, and dedication, hard work, and what is it called? Discipline. Yes, you have to be very disciplined, honey, because it's a lot of times I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this, but it's like, girl, you better do it now because you better do. You rather do it now and be happy than not do it, and be sad later on. So get it done whenever you think about it. You be straight.
Okay, I like that. Dedication, hard work, and discipline. Yeah, all
Yeah.
good qualities, all good traits to have, no matter what you do. So this is kind of going to be a two-part question, and how I frame the second part is just going to be based off the first answer.
Okay.
So would you say that when you really kind of came into Melanae, came into realizing what you wanted to do as far as the singing, as the rapping, were you surrounded by a lot of other musical people, like people your age, people older, people who you can kind of directly relate to and go to?
I mean, yeah, I was for the most part, but they weren't doing music. You know what I'm saying? People when I came to college, people were doing music. That's what I noticed when I got to college. So
So
that's when
now,
I was able to get my network in. I'm sorry.
okay. So now, what was it like now when you're fully embracing the music space, fully embracing the entertainment industry and everything like that? What was that immediate response like from other people once they realized this was the space that you wanted to be into, and how did they kind of support you and propel you?
They were very supportive. My family was very supportive. Friends were very supportive. I didn't really have any problems. Everybody was like, "Okay, Anjanette, I didn't know you rap." And I was like, "Yeah, girl, you ain't say nothing yet." So we've been moving since then. But I appreciate everybody for their support.
Amazing. I love to hear it. So now, as just thinking about, from when you were four to then even going to high school to then Elizabeth City to now
Mhm.
this, how do you constantly stay motivated? How do you continuously, keep your creativity up while still, increasing that fan base just the same?
I journal. I'm not gonna lie to you. I write in my journal. I read every day. I try to read for an hour, 30 minutes to an hour. I mean, I'm all about mental health. You know what I'm saying? You can't be out here and your mind's not right. You got to be in one with yourself.
Absolutely. I love that. And I love that just because of the space that we're in, the time that we're in, how, sometimes that's not always mental health, especially is a, it can be a sticky, conversation depending on which side of it that you're on. But
Right.
how, just as we grow, as we mature, as we go through different experiences, how much needed it is. I tell people all the time, like my focus is way more on that now than it was before. And I even look back on some of the things that I was doing, like, damn, I
Right.
wasn't necessarily taking care of my mental health, or I wasn't necessarily putting my mental health first. Sometimes I was putting, a job first, or money first, or just the extracurriculars first, or just things like that. But when you really, like
Right.
you said, when you hone in, when you figure out that what's important, how you gonna rock, you gotta have that every step of the way for sure. So, Melanae, so thinking about, the content, thinking about the singles that you put out, thinking about the performances that you have, what would you say is your favorite part about what you do?
My favorite part about what I do is going to the studio. I love being in the studio. Like, I make it my duty to, like, if I'm not at home, I'm in the studio. You know what I'm saying? Or if I'm not doing work, I'm in the studio. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm writing. I was doing something involving music.
Got you. So now, is this a thing of where does and I kind of ask this question to all my artists in some form or fashion. So where does the inspiration come from when it comes to, making these songs, when it comes to choosing what freestyles you want to hop on, when it comes to figuring out the visuals and what you want to promote, what you want to put out there? How does that really work? What is like Melanie's creative process?
I mean, I'm still learning, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, it's like with each song is different. So, I have a different vision for each song. And then it just goes from there. I talk to my people, do what we got to do about that brainstorm, and then we get it done.
Okay, I like that. And so, in leaving North Carolina and now coming to Baltimore and everything like that, has that changed your management? Has that changed who you go to kind of for production or different things like that? Have you kind of had to adopt a new team in a sense?
Not really, no. Because my team is pretty mobile, you know what I'm saying? I mean, just a phone call away. I mean, let me see. I pretty much do everything. I don't want to say I do everything by myself, but it's like I'm driving to the studio. You know what I'm saying? So I'm putting my work in. So I feel like I have my time in. I feel like I'm doing straight.
For sure, I like that. Okay, so now throw you on the spot a little bit, but it's gonna make sense when I kind of circle
Oh,
back.
okay.
Put you on the spot, yeah.
All right.
So okay, so who is your favorite artist?
My favorite artist right now
Yeah,
is Tierra Whack. I love Tierra Whack.
very nice. Okay, how would you describe Tierra Whack to somebody who says they've never heard her or never listened to a song by her?
She's off the chain. I mean, her wordplay is insane. Like, and she's just herself. She's out of the box, but she's in her box. You know what I'm saying? So she appreciates herself, which makes everybody else appreciate her. And I love Tierra for that.
Out of the box, but in her box. I like. I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to. Yeah, I'm gonna that's on that. That's on.
Yeah.
But okay. So the reason why I ask you that. So how would you describe yourself to somebody who's never heard of you before? who just came across your Instagram page for the first time, might have clicked the video or two, might have scrolled, might have clicked the link tree, how would you describe yourself?
I mean, I would say how the same. I'm the same. You know, I'm out of my box, but I'm in my box. Very genuine, very humble. You know what I'm saying? I just get my work done, and you can tell I'm about my work. So I mean, that's what I would say.
Gotcha. Okay, I love it. So when it comes to the entertainment industry, I feel like people have so many different opinions about, how you can be successful, about what can propel you to the top. It can be about, who you know. It can be about your word of mouth. It can be strictly that wordplay. It can be that, you just got signed by somebody that's really high up. And so everything that you do is just being seen by everybody. What do you
Right.
feel like it's really going to take to propel Melanae to the top for her, excuse me, to get to really where she wants to be?
I mean, keep working hard. That's all I got to say. Just keep going. You know, no matter what's coming up. You know, just keep it moving.
Gotcha. I love that. You keep the grind, don't stop, man. Job
I
never.
mean, for real. You know, I'm all about my grind, man.
Yeah. Okay, I could tell. Trust me, and I'm sure the people, just in hearing the interview, will be able to say the same. So, and thinking
Yeah.
about, like you said, the grind, everything that you've done, everything that you're going to continue to do. What is something that now you look back on, and it could be recent, it could be early on in your career, but you look back on it and you're proud of it. You really hold it near and dear to your heart. You look back and say, "Wow, I really did that." You could pop
Yeah.
your fist with that.
Proud of making this big move. To be honest with you, from a small town, I really am proud of myself for that and being able to adapt pretty well with it. I mean, I feel like I'm doing pretty good out here. Graduating college would be another one, and putting out like music, a lot of music, like I expected. I didn't expect to put out this much music. I didn't expect to have a whole mixtape with 10 songs. Like I've been working. It's been showing, and I'm proud of myself for that.
It honestly makes it. You think about the sleepless nights, you think about the long days, you think about the stress, you think about, like you said, some days where your discipline may not have been here. You might have
Right,
slacked up a little bit, but then now you look back, you look at the mixtapes, you look at the singles,
right.
you look at, the visuals, and you're like, man, I've been doing it, I've been
I've been
grinding.
doing it, yeah.
I think that's so important for artists, business owners, entrepreneurs. For as hard as we are on ourselves, for sometimes how we're not pleased, with where we may be in a particular space. You might have took an L, you might have been hit hard with something. You gotta pat yourself on the back and celebrate all the small wins, man.
That's a fact.
Because
Right,
without those, like you said, moving is no. I moved from Philly all the way to Florida a year. While at the time being, it was just like I was so ready to leave. It just like you was coming. So I had similar sentiments about how you feel about Dunn. Philly for me is just not the place that I wanted to be. It's not really where I wanted my family to be.
yeah.
It was all said and done. But I knew for me, first and foremost, I had to think about myself. I had to get out of there. I had to think about my career. But I think sometimes I just missed the fact that I saved up and bought a car. That I traveled to DC first, and then I went to North Carolina, and then I went to Atlanta, and then I came here.
Right.
I skip over all that stuff because just where my mind was at the time. But sometimes it really does take that reflection. It really does take that looking back and saying that I made it
Yeah.
happen. So in thinking about reflection and thinking about that you might have not always followed the path that you expected, or think about how sometimes you lost motivation, how sometimes you might have veered off a little bit like that. What do you say to somebody trying to enter the same space that you're in right now? What do you say to somebody who may just be coming out of high school, who may just be kind of freestyling, dropping some songs, may not have the right people around them, but is motivated, wants to, work hard, wants to really enter the space? What do you say to even a younger Melanae?
Yeah, I mean, just keep working. You know, if you want it as bad as you want it, you got to go get it, no matter how hard it take. You know what I'm saying? So if you want it, girl, you got to go get it, and that's all
Okay.
I got to say.
Okay. So we can't. I'm gonna say that you can't use Tierra Whack for this one. So if you
Oh
could
man.
sit down with, well, I'm gonna give you two. I'll give you male and female, or you can do two female, two male. It's up to you. If you could
Okay.
sit down with two artists, two people in your industry, two people who do what you do, and really just pick their brain about everything from how they got their start to what they're doing to their creative process to some of their favorite work. Really just sit down how we sitting down today. Ask them as many questions as you like. Who would you sit down with, and why would you pick those two people?
It would be J. Cole. Hmm. I don't know. I only hear J. Cole right now in my head. That's all I think
I
about.
feel
Cause
like
I
he'd give you so many gems. It'd be like you sat down with two
yeah,
people.
like
I can't be
his
mad.
his business and his marketing is insane. Like, and he's so low key with it. But it's like when he's out, like when he pops out, it's like, boom. And it's
Mm,
like, how did he do this?
right, genius.
But I like that.
Like
That's the only
that's it.
person I can think of for real, J. Cole.
it was crazy because said that same thing. I was like, yo, like this man, we seen him balling overseas. We seen him, dropping some singles, looking rough, and not always with the flashy and here and there. But
Right.
then they dropped the album. Basically, came out, album went crazy.
There we
Then he
go.
dropped the tour tickets, tour everywhere. So and it was just like this man is nowhere near on social media like Lil Baby, Gunna,
Right.
all those folks. But it was just like, yo, he just has that reputation. He just is so established that his fan base is so strong and secure that yo, whatever move he make, they're right there with him. Man, I love that. That's crazy. So yeah, I feel like yeah, he's definitely a good brain. He would probably just give you an interesting perspective because he's not, on social media. He's not that flashy. He really like you, even like similar to yourself. You want to be genuine. You really want to, go out and meet people, really talk to people face to face. All of this social media stuff
Right.
that we go so far. So I love that. Okay, so before we kind of get to the close of this, I hate that we got to end things like this. But do you feel like that there is anything that we have not talked about today, whether it comes to what to look forward to from Melanae in the future, whether it comes to any different projects or anything, whether it comes to something that you're looking forward to yourself, whether it's even outside of music, outside of the entertainment industry? Is there anything that you feel like you want to leave the people with?
All I got to say is, if you're ready for the ride, you better buckle up, child, because this is something, okay?
All right now.
But that's about
Okay.
it.
I love that, man. Look, you're in such a different space right now, but you're making it happen. Like you said, you're making the adjustments. You're really
Thank
taking
you.
it, one step at a time. So I love that. Glad that I was able to tap in with you at this particular point in your journey. But
Thank you.
obviously, like you said, you have so much more before this. You have so much more coming. So very excited, to do some follow ups, to keep tapping in with you, to even see some of my followers, because I definitely got some people that I want to send your way, not only in that area, but in North Carolina and then even further up. That I feel like if y'all just mix and mash something together, y'all could
Yeah,
definitely come with some work. So we'll definitely
definitely.
get in the lab about that. So before we officially end it, can you just, I know you did a little earlier, but I want to make sure we got everything list by list. And I'll
Okay.
make sure I throw it in the bio too. Can you just give us all your social medias, where to find you, where can we, for the followers wanting to tap in and wanting to listen to, what you got out there, where can we see you at?
Okay. Okay. This is how we're going to do it. My Instagram is Melanae, Melanae, 4 E's. Click the link tree in my bio. It has all my links in there, my Instagram, Facebook, all of that. So you guys can follow me on everything, my YouTube, Apple Music, everything. You ain't got to question me about nothing.
All right
So as
now.
soon as you follow me on that Instagram, click that link, honey, we'll be all right.
Got you. I love Linktree. It's a good way to put everything in one little, all you got to do
Yes.
is scroll to see what's up. Okay, so Melanie, I definitely want to thank you. I want to thank you for, everything that you're doing, just shoot, just as a person, just as an artist, just somebody in this creative space, because you're inspiring people, you're inspiring me. So I really do appreciate you for that. I appreciate you, for taking the time out to sit down with me
Thank
on
you.
the
No
Down to
problem.
Business podcast. And I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see what you got coming yourself personally. Excited to see, you and Kate keep climbing to the top. And we kind of
Yes.
work out anyway. Yeah. So to everybody out there who continuously shows love, who continuously taps in, makes it happen, I appreciate y'all. This has been another episode of the Down to Business podcast. Here with Tamar Turner.